بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا أيها النبي إذا طلقتم النساء فطلقوهن لعدتهن وأحصوا العدة واتقوا الله ربكم لا تخرجوهن من بيوتهن ولا يخرجن إلا أن يأتين بفاحشة مبينة وتلك حدود الله ومن يتعد حدود الله فقد ظلم نفسه لا تدري لعل الله يحدث بعد ذلك أمرا فإذا بلغن أجلهن فأمسكوهن بمعروف أو فارقوهن بمعروف وأشهدوا ذوي عدل منكم وأقيموا الشهادة لله ذلكم يوعظ به من كان يؤمن بالله واليوم الآخر ومن يتق الله يجعل له مخرجا ويرزقه من حيث لا يحتسب ومن يتوكل على الله فهو حسبه إن الله بالغ أمره قد جعل الله لكل شيء قدرا واللائي يئسن من المحيض من نسائكم إن ارتبتم فعدتهن 3 أشهر واللائي لم يحضن وأولاة الأحمال أجلهن أن يضعن حملهن ومن يتق الله يجعل له من أمره يسرا ذلك أمر الله أنزله إليكم ومن يتق الله يكفر عنه سيئاته ويعظم له أجرا أسكنوهن من حيث سكنتم من وجدكم ولا تضاروهن لتضيقوا عليهن وإن كن أولات حمل فأنفقوا عليهن حتى يضعن حملهن فإن أرضعن لكم فآتوهن أجورهن وأتمروا بينكم بمعروف وإن تعاسرتم فسترضع له أخرى لينفق ذو سعة من سعته ومن قدر عليه رزقه فلينفق مما آتاه الله لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا ما آتاها سيجعل الله بعد عسر يسرا وكأين من قرية عتت عن أمر ربها بها ورسله فحاسبناها حسابا شديدا فحاسبناها حسابا شديدا وعذبناها عذابا نكرا فذاقت وبال أمرها وكان عاقبة أمرها خسرا أعد الله لهم عذابا شديدا أعد الله لهم عذابا شديدا فاتقوا الله يا أولي الألباب الذين آمنوا قد أنزل الله إليكم ذكرا رسولا يتلو عليكم آيات الله مبينات رسولا يتلو عليكم آيات الله مبينات ليخرج الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات من الظلمات إلى النور ومن يؤمن بالله ويعمل صالحا يدخله جنات تجري من تحتها الأنهار خالدين فيها أبدا قد أحسن الله له رزقا الله الذي خلق 7 سماوات ومن الأرض مثلهن يتنزل الأمر بينهن لتعلموا أن الله على كل شيء قدير وأن الله قد أحاط بكل شيء علما.
As the gender war rages on, in order to keep the peace, we must discuss the exact facts. Welcome to Exactly. I'm your host, Saad Imam. Remove your shoes and enter upon your right foot, upon the right state of mind, bi'idhnillah. Topic: do not be faithful to her. Do not, I repeat, do not be faithful to her. Simping is shirking, or simping equals shirking. Okay, let's get into it. But first, let me introduce, I have a guest from Georgia, my 3-year-old son, Kiam. He's here, he's coughing, so you hear him in the background probably. Alhamdulillah. So he's going to be the guest. I hope he don't touch the computer and mess up stuff, right? Inshallah. So, anyway, getting into the topic, I would like to say, first of all, as a disclaimer, these topics, especially these titles, but if you go past, if you can survive the title intelligently and get to the actual subject matter, you'll see the Islamic point, purpose, and viewpoint that, I'm building. But if you just go off the title alone, you are the type of person that walks into a building because it says going out of business. And this business can be going out of business for 5 years. You're the type of person that sees sale and think if you don't get there, you're not saving money. You can't save money by spending money. Okay. Also, when you see clearance, you want to rush there. because you think that you're going to miss out on something. Okay, if you're that type of person. But if you're an intellectual person, an aql, you know, you will listen to the subject matter before you form an opinion. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, brother Jihad. Alhamdulillah. Qiyam, say assalamu alaikum. Okay, he's waving, but you can't see him. He says assalamu alaikum. Alhamdulillah. Okay, so let's go into the topic. Okay, I am saying you should not be faithful to your wife. Do not be faithful to your wife. Simping equals shirking. Okay. Let's go to Quran. Allah Ta'ala says, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu ufu bil uqud. Okay. O you who believe, fulfill your obligations. O ye who believe, fulfill your obligations. Okay, so who is this talking to? The amanu are men and women, and never kuffar. So Allah is telling the believer, O ye who believe, fulfill your obligations. Excuse me, I mispronounced it. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu awfu bil uqud. I apologize. I'm fighting. I'm fighting the need for reading glasses. I'm fighting it. So, inshallah ta'ala, I'll give in pretty soon. But I'm fighting the need for reading glasses. So when the font is really small, I'll make those type of mistakes. There is no sukoon on the waw. So it ain't ufu, it's awfu bil uqud. Okay. So anyway, I would like to say a man's obligation to his wife is what? It is provisioning, providing for her, okay? Even when we talk about the bare minimum, people get offended. The bare minimum is ample housing, ample clothing, ample food and drink. That's the bare minimum. But people hear bare, they say, where are my Prada bags? Where's my Dolce and Gabbana glasses? Where's my Birkin bag? You know, they say, where are these? Those things are not under a man's obligation. Those things are when you are making your husband happy, he willfully gives. If he can afford it, he willfully gives it, or he saves up for it in order to make you happy, because you're striving to make him happy. Okay? You're striving to make him happy, excuse me. Now, a woman asked me one time, what are you seeking? I say, a woman under my frame. What does that mean? I say, a woman that's only worried about my happiness. Now this was not a kaf. This was not a Muslimah. This was a kafirah that was asking, it was normal conversation. She said, what do you look for in a woman? Because she was having some issues with somebody. Said, what do you look for? I said, well, woman under my frame. You know, what does that mean? I said, well, she's only concerned about my happiness. Not concerned about anything else. She's only concerned about my happiness. Okay? Well, what about her happiness? I say, well, how can I make her happy if I'm not happy? Imagine that. A man's job is to provide for his wife, but she's not concerned about his happiness. Imagine that. But women that are wise, they're really concerned about their husband's happiness. Matter of fact, I posted a hadith about if a woman prays 5 times a day, fasts Ramadan, gives zakat, makes hajj, you know what I'm saying? Believes in Allah and his messenger. And after that, the 6th thing is what? Please her husband. You know what I'm saying? Obey her husband, Obey her husband. She can enter Jannah through any door she pleases. They say at the time a man dies, if he's pleased with his wife, or at the time when she dies, he is pleased with her. Okay? Some say it goes both ways. At the time that he dies, if he's pleased with her, or at the time she dies, he's pleased with her, she can enter Jannah through any door that she chooses. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu, Brother Ayub. Brother Ayub says, I gave in 3 years ago, and now I have 3 or 4 pair of reading glasses. I mean, I'm farsighted, so if I hold something away, I can see it real good. Up close, it blinds me. It gets real blurry. I have this phone right here, and I didn't want to do this. I didn't want to do this deal. You can see the phone, right? I don't want to do this deal. But anyway, So I just expanded the font after I said, well, that don't sound right. Oat food don't sound right. It's ofu, not ootfu, excuse me. So I expanded it just to double check, and I said, oh, I'm destroying the Arabic. Ana Ajmi, I'm not an Arab, so uh, it's not my first or second or third tongue. Okay, I think I know more Arabic than Spanish now, but I used to know more Spanish than Arabic. But uh, anyway, so his job is to provide for you, and he'll provide above and beyond the basics if he's happy. So his happiness matters. Men self delete. Pow. You know, more, 4 times more than women. For every one woman that does it, 4 men will do it. They self delete. I'm saying? They self delete. Now, shouldn't we at some point worry about men's happiness? We work more dangerous jobs. We do more dangerous duties. We do all of that, and we self delete more than any other gender. Okay, my baby. Okay, he's coughing. We self delete more than any other gender. So, because that, I mean, we should be worried about men's happiness right now, shouldn't we? But no. Happy wife, happy life. And I explained to y'all before, if your wife is happy, how does that make your life happy? Okay, let's say I'm having a hard time at work. The boss is always on me. I'm really stressed out at work. I got a quota I haven't met. I'm really stressed out, worried about getting fired, but my wife is happy at home. Now I'm going home with all these troubles on my mind. Got to worry about providing and taking care of my wife and family. And I'm about to get fired. But long as she happy, I got a happy life. Sir, you have prostate cancer. You have colon cancer. Sir, you have throat cancer. Sir, you got 3 months to live. But your wife is happy. Come on, man. This is really idiotic. And just to give up the ghost, to give you a hint, or give up the end game, really. Sa'ada, happiness, defined in the Hukum Sharia, is knowing that your Lord, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is pleased with you. That's happiness in Islam. That's happiness by Sharia definition. Knowing that your Lord is pleased with you, not knowing that your wife is pleased with you. But in the hadith, you read, if the husband is happy, then she can enter Jannah through any door. So the path to Al-Jannah is through the husband, not through the wife. Yes, there are obligations, and Allah Ta'ala says, fulfill your obligations. Ofu bil uqud. You know what I'm saying? Fulfill your obligations, O believers. Men and women, okay? Men and women. So our job is to provide provision, but our happiness doesn't matter most of the time. So, because this is what Allah says, fulfill your obligations, and provision is one of our obligations to our wives. Okay. Second obligation is protection. Protection. Okay. If I have a wife, true story. If I have a wife that I didn't like, okay, and someone starts shooting, I still have to shield her. I still have to take the bullets to my back. I still have to. Okay? If someone is poking at my wife, I have to jump in front of that knife. I have to do Secret Service duties toward my wife because Allah obligated me to. And Allah Ta'ala says, oh, you who believe, fulfill your obligations. I have to die for her. Now, the payoff is what? Al-Jannah, inshallah ta'ala. Having my sins removed, dying as shaheed, dying as a martyr, obtaining my shahada. Okay? Obtaining my shahada. That's the trade-off. But again, provision and protection. Those are my obligations toward my wife. Now let's get deeper, okay? Who sets these obligations? Who sets a husband's obligations toward his wife? Oh, man. You want to sit on daddy's lap? Come on. Sit on daddy's lap. Yep. Diaper boy. Pull up boy. Yeah. So, who sets these obligations? Okay? Who sets these obligations? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sets the believer's obligations. He sets the woman's obligations. He sets the man's obligations. Specifically, he sets the husband's obligations. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, okay? And who punishes for any transgressions or any dereliction, okay? Any dereliction or any transgression regarding these obligations. Again, we say Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah ta'ala punishes. Now I got the cough even closer, right? Okay. Allah ta'ala punishes, okay, for transgressions. Lastly, who would any transgressions be against? Okay. Allah obligated you to provide for your wife. If you didn't, who would that transgression be against? Allah Ta'ala ordered you to protect your wife. If you did not, who would that transgression be against? I didn't say who would be affected by it. I said who would that transgression be against? I say against Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala again, because he's the one that obligated you. Okay? So what role does a wife play regarding any transgressions of duties owed to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? What role does she play? She is merely an obligation within itself. But the one that obliged you, the one that obligated you is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay? You follow me? She's an obligation herself, but the one that obligated you is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay? Highly glorified is He. Okay, to make it even more clear, let's talk about at-tawakkul. At-tawakkul. Okay, at-tawakkul means that sole and complete trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, brother Abdul Wali Muhammad. Okay, alhamdulillah, I love that name. So at-tawakkul, total trust and complete dependence on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is only in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You can't have tawakkul in anything else. Okay? So a tawakkul, total and complete trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is only to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Can you have complete trust and dependence upon any human being? Let's put the wife to the side. Upon any human being, can you? No. No, because human beings, they fail human beings. Okay? Now let's deal specifically with the wife. Do you have complete and total trust that your wife wouldn't have a strange man in your home that you do not approve of? Whether it's a blood relative or not, do you have complete and utter trust? Yeah, I trust my wife. I trust my wife. Do you have tawakkul? Do you have complete and utter trust in your wife not to violate that? Because remember, human beings make mistakes. Oh, babe, I totally forgot you didn't want my uncle in the house. I totally forgot you didn't want my gay son over here. You know, stuff like that, right? So, and that's why I can't monetize channels like this. You know, because I'll be limited on what I can say. That's a whole other story. But nevertheless, so with that being said, human beings make mistakes, so you can't have total trust and reliance upon a human being, let alone your wife. Do you have total trust and complete trust that subhanallah, I gotta get you some medicine, that your wife wouldn't answer a favorable DM, you know, by somebody she likes or somebody she finds attractive? Do you have total trust in that? You know what I'm saying? Do you have total trust in that? Do you have total trust that if someone says, sister, you sure look good, sister, she won't say, thank you, but I'm married. See, that thank you, that's a problem. You have total trust in that? Do you have total trust that your wife would not go on a date behind your back? Now, we're not talking about those that are so, they got the children and, you know, and they're afraid of getting caught and all that time. I'm talking about having total trust and complete reliance upon your wife that she won't make any mistake. Well, I know that in these days and times, I hate to say it, days and times that I never worried about my girlfriend cheating on me when I was a Catholic. Never, and not even a thought. Not even a thought. Didn't worry about it. I became Muslim. I was even less worried about that phenomena. But will it happen? Will it happen? Oh, yeah. Brothers have experienced it. Brothers have experienced it. Well, sisters have experienced it. Brothers have experienced it. Follow the subject. Let's not move the goalposts. Uh, Crown says, what if the wife reverses this question on the husband? Well, what we're talking about, the wife is the obligation of the husband. The husband is not the obligation of the wife. Our nature itself, dictates that we are not bound to one female. Our nature dictates that. It's the same with Christians. Christians say Jesus died for their sins. They say this, we believe that. We believe that with all our heart, soul, mind, and body. Okay, if you believe that, why do you still have feelings of guilt? Why do you still have feelings of guilt? Why do you still have moments of guilt and regret? If Jesus died for your sins, why are you praying? Why are you asking for forgiveness? Why do you feel guilt? See, we don't believe anybody died. We believe we are fully responsible and accountable. So we don't believe anybody died for our sins. So therefore, we live a life of 24/7 accountability and responsibility. And we're not putting it off on anybody else. We don't believe or practice any belief or advocate any belief that contradicts our intelligence and our nature. So if someone says Jesus died for my sins, I would expect not to feel guilty for doing certain things. Well, it's human nature to feel guilty. Well, it's human nature to actually believe. So when a counselor asked me, he said, asked me, part of my story and what are the things I did before I became Muslim. So I started, and I plan to do some YouTube shorts talking about my life before Islam and coming into Islam and then afterwards. I'm talking about some of the violent stuff. I'm not gonna do the statute of limitations, self-incrimination thing. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that because you can still get in trouble for some things. But nevertheless, I plan to talk about it. But anyway, the counselor's asking me, do you ever feel guilty about the stuff that you did? I said, oh no. He said, you don't? There's a Christian counselor asking me this. You don't? I said, no, because when I took Shahada, Allah forgave all my past deeds. And yes, I have some good deeds of the past that would be considered good. Allah kept them in my favor. Matter of fact, He took the weight of the bad deeds because I decided to change and leave that lifestyle. He turned it into good, the weight of it into good, and put it on my scale of good. So when I took Shahada, when I became Muslim, I was the best person in the room. I said, of course I don't feel guilty for what I did in the past. It's done, I was without guidance. Now I have guidance. Now I would feel guilty if I did something idiotic like that, So anyway, yeah, so it was like that. So the wife is the obligation of the husband, and he's obligated, to provision and protection. But the wife is not obligated to you, except in the obedience and the honoring. She's not obligated to protect or to provide for you. Okay, she's not obligated to protect or provide for you. So with her saying that, do you have complete trust that your husband wouldn't? It's not her business. If you talk to some of the old school traditional women, they'll tell you, man, that ain't my business what my husband doing when he's not around me. My bills are paid. You know what I'm saying? I don't want for nothing. Ain't no outside kids coming knocking on my door. Ain't no women knocking on my door. That's what they used to say. Because see, they understood what a woman place was. I'm not saying you tolerate your husband messing with somebody he's not married to, because that's not going to work. That hurts society. Forget your household. That hurts society as a whole. So again, my wife is not responsible for me. I'm responsible for my wife. Okay, so it's a little bit different. Okay, but perhaps when I continue, it'll clarify it even more. So, at tawakkul, complete trust and reliance on Allah Ta'ala is to Allah Ta'ala alone. And when you put that on another individual will fail you. A husband will fail a wife, and a wife will fail a husband. If you depend on your husband to pay a certain bill, he could get robbed on the way home. He could mess the money off before he gets home. He can lose the money, okay? He can not earn the money or get fired from his job, okay? So you don't put complete trust in anything, any fallible entity, but you put your trust in the infallible one, which is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay, the second concept, dealing with husband and wife, al-wala wal-bara, okay? Loyalty and disassociation. For Allah's sake, okay? Loyalty and disassociation for Allah's sake. If you're not loyal to what Allah Ta'ala says be loyal to, and if you are not disassociating from who Allah Ta'ala says to disassociate from, then you are all out of whack. Let me give you an example. Okay, Allah Ta'ala demands the woman be loyal and exclusive to her husband. That's her smile, that's her kisses, her hugs, her physical intimacy, okay? The bedroom fun, okay? Exclusively for her husband. Her body, her wares, her zina, her adornment, her treasures, her womanly treasures, exclusively for her husband, okay? Things like that, okay? So that's al-wala, that's loyalty that Allah Ta'ala demands from a wife to her husband. Allah Ta'ala, in a lot of those ways, don't demand it of a husband toward his wife. I'll give you an example, okay? Is a husband exclusively for one woman? No, not in any religious text that claim to be revealed. Not in any religious text that claims to be revealed. Okay, even the ones that were corrupted, all were except Quran. But out of all of the texts revealed, none of them said that one man is exclusively, or one woman is exclusively for one man and one man is exclusively for one woman. None of them ever said that. Even the ones that said that were LG, HDTV, 4K, HDMI. They slept with their moms. They had incestuous relationships with their sisters, their daughters. They had boys in waiting, and they had other women in waiting, but they claimed to be only married to one. Even those people that said that came up with that fallacy. Paul probably didn't like women anyway when he came up with it. Ayub says, roughly translated, when you make a decision, put our trust in Allah. Yeah. When you have decided, put your trust in Allah. Yeah. And it's a unilateral decision. You take counsel, with Shara Wilhum, take shura amongst them, but it goes back to the singular after you, it goes back to the singular after you have decided, then put your trust in Allah. Okay. So, nevertheless, al-wala wa bara, the loyalty and disassociation, okay? There is no, forget the previous text. Let's talk about the unadulterated, uninterpolated text, the Quran, okay? And Sunnah, okay? Allah Ta'ala revealed to the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu that a man can have up to 4 wives. Mathna wa thulatha wa ruba. 2, 3, or 4, okay? And two is the standard. So polygyny is the standard, and monogamy is the outliner. Okay, that's the anecdote. Monogamy, polygyny is the standard. Monogamy is the anecdote. Okay, that's the rarity. Monogamy. Although less than 50% men practice polygyny, about 90% of men want to be polygynous. About 90% want to. And it could be finances holding them back. Could be threats. Could be they don't want to lose their kids. It could be they don't want to be taken to the kufar divorce court. All kind of stuff. I've heard it all. But nevertheless, loyalty. A man is not exclusively for his wife. He's not. Okay. He can have 2, 3, up to 4 wives. Okay. The man can have that if he qualifies. Okay, and the qualifications are straight out dealing with the ideal in this verse deals with finances. It don't deal with love. It's finances then time. Okay, it's finances then time. Okay, so again, uh, women today view polygyny as cheating. Now I'm talking about Muslim women. A lot of them, even the ones that say, "I know it's halal, but it's not for me." Polygyny is never for you. Like, who told you polygyny is for you? Polygyny is never for you. Never for you. You cannot be polygynous. So why are you saying, yeah, I believe he can do it, but it's not for me? It's never for you. You can't. Polyandry is shirk. Polyandry is kufr. Okay. Polyandry is kufr. So, because polygyny is never for you, or polygamy, I should say, because that deals with men and women, is never for you, why do you have a say in it? Why do you have a say? That's why I tell brothers, give them the bare minimum, and everything above that is sadaqah, which is actually Islam 101. Give them the bare minimum, then special times give them sadaqah. Don't make, hey, babe, take this credit card and get yourself some shoes anytime you want to. I let you get a pair of shoes at least once every week after every Jummah. You can get another abaya. You can do this and that. Man, look, we all go through. Muhammad said, take care of your wealth before your poverty. So budget. You don't get money. People mad at Jay-Z right now because he wouldn't lend his cousin $2,800. He's a billionaire, not obligated. Not obligated to give his cousin a dime. Not obligated to give his cousin a dime. Okay? Now you would think if you're a billionaire, you give it. Well, I'm gonna tell you how you won't be a billionaire. Give to everybody that asks. You would not be a billionaire any longer. Okay? You would not be a billionaire any longer. And that 2,800 won't put a dent. They said him giving that cousin $2,800, $2,800, he say is the equivalent of someone having 50,000 and giving someone a dime. They say that's the equivalent of having 50,000 and giving someone a dime is like giving your cousin 2,800 and you're a billionaire. He's not obligated. See, that's the issue. We got to separate obligations from charity. And when we don't do that, we don't see it. We don't see it. If Jay-Z allows his cousin to come to his house and have a meal, that's sadaqah. If he allows the cousin to sit in his living room, enjoy his AC, and watch some TV, that's a sadaqah. That's a charity. Okay? He's not obligated to his cousin. He's not. Okay? He's obligated to his mom, his dad, his children, his wife. He's obligated to them. Now, I know you don't break the ties of kinship. Well, when does kinship become about money? When does kinship become about money? Well, you're a billionaire. Well, I'm a billionaire. Who's to know his cousin squandered their education? Walking off a job, talking back to the management. Who's to say their husband didn't squander or could have had that money easily for himself, but didn't want to work? Who's to say Jay-Z didn't employ that cousin? He turned out to be a bum, or her to be a bum, whatever gender it is. So again, we go past all of that. Loyalty of a woman to her husband, there's a lot of different stipulations. What constitutes that loyalty? Disassociation, not having male friends, not answering DMs, not having your DMs accessible, okay? Not smiling at dudes, Disassociate yourself from stuff like that. Dressing a certain way where you define the shape of your body or your bones where other men can enjoy, which should be exclusively for your husband. Having your feet uncovered, things like that. Okay? Having your feet uncovered. Now, I know the Hanafis, mainly like, the Pakistani, Indian, stuff like that, because a lot of them are majority Hanafis, they believe you can uncover your feet. Well, we follow the evidence. We don't follow anyone other than the Rasul Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and we listen for explanation and tafsir, others other than Muhammad sallallahu. Muhammad sallallahu actually explained Quran with his sunnah. Okay, he explained Quran with the sunnah, and he also elaborated upon his sunnah, and in taqriri, his silent approval, disapproval, qawli, his speech, and fa'ali, his action, also constitute his sunnah. But nevertheless, when it comes to a man, faithfulness, loyalty, to his wife, is to provide again and protect. Okay, that's loyalty. That's loyalty. And provision, protection also includes not bringing her any disease, bringing her back a disease. That's also protection. Okay, I have to add that. But nevertheless, al-wala wa bara, loyalty and disassociation is for the sake of Allah Ta'ala alone. So we have to look toward our obligations to Allah Ta'ala and see if we are practicing al-wala wa bara, loyalty and disassociation. So viewing polygyny as cheating, you're not practicing al-wala wa bara. You're not loving and hating for Allah Ta'ala's sake. You have an opinion outside of Islam. Okay. Now I know some simp dudes, since we're talking about simping, some simp dudes, oh man, that's like cheating. That's like halal cheating. Like, what is halal cheating? I told y'all before, a man can't cheat on his wife. A man can't cheat on his wife because the one that says zina is haram is Allah. Your wife doesn't make zina haram. Zina is haram whether you're married or not. So how did your wife make zina haram? See, this is the problem with Muslims today. We tend to adopt language of the kuffar. I don't care what Sheikh said it. That we'll tend to adopt language of the kuffar. Then we find ourselves behaving and thinking like the kuffar. A Muslim man can't cheat on his wife. He can only cheat his deen. He can cheat his akhirah. But he didn't cheat on her. And we'll get into some of the reasons why. You know what I'm saying? We'll get into some of the reasons why. Sounds like respiratory infection. May Allah give our, alhamdulillah, his mom was dealing with it. She took him to the doctor. They didn't say respiratory. I think he had an ear infection at one time and something else. It was allergies, I think it was. But I'm going to work on it. I'm going to put that, now he got me coughing. I'm going to put that cayenne pepper on him. The cayenne pepper? Look, he talking about, yeah, he didn't know what he's talking about. Anyway, so, he coughs like that. Like his mom always talking about him coughing, subhanAllah. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, brother Jawad. Okay, now, let's go into another aspect of al-wala wa bara when it deals with couples, okay? There's a thing called hall passes, okay? There's a thing called hall passes. Wives. Now, we're not talking about, look, shibran bi shibran wa dira'in bi dira'in. Muhammad sallam said we will follow those that came before, step by step and inch by inch. You know what I'm saying? Step by step and inch by inch. So if the kuffar are going through it, in the absence of Islam as a system, the Muslims too will follow those footsteps. Step by step and inch by inch. So kuffar mainly are giving kuffar. I heard of an older man, 70 years old, had prostate cancer. He can no longer please his wife, so he gave her a hall, and she's notably younger than him, probably half his age. He gave her a hall pass. Now, for those that don't understand, I pray Allah Ta'ala they don't understand. Hall passes is when your spouse allows you to cheat. Now, they say, well, I'm the wife, so I can give my husband a hall pass. Well, he's allowed to cheat. Okay? This is his birthday, so you get a hall pass for your birthday week. You can cheat with anybody you want to, but just one time, that type of thing. See, that's when a woman becomes your God. Yeah, you might, in your lower self, you know what I'm saying, your base nature, you want to have sex with a woman that's not your wife. We see them all the time. They are delicious, deliciously gorgeous. You know what I'm saying, we see them all the time in this naked society. We see them all the time, especially I see Muslim sisters covered head to toe, like immaculate. But then the kuffar is showing you way above and beyond that. Although we hate it in society. Men like women. Women, Allah made women. Allah Ta'ala says He gave us shapes and made them beautiful. So women are naturally attracted to men and men are naturally attracted to women. Not all men are attracted to all women and not all women are attracted to all men. Okay? And that's why people say if you say one bad thing about a woman, you don't like any woman. So you say one thing about one woman, that means you like men. That's what women say, you know? Instead of them correcting themselves. Self-correction and accountability. I'm saying? But anyway, nevertheless, so these women give their husbands permission to have hall passes, and in their mind, a lot of these guys are Christian guys, and I'm telling you, Muslims are not far from that these days. Okay, who gives her? How does she become the authority? When does she become your Lord? Whether you're Muslim, Christian, Jew, or whatever, where she can give you a pass to disobey your Lord. That's why I'm telling you, things are out of whack. Just because you like it don't make it right, sir. Man, she gave me a hall pass. You sound like a whole LG TV 4K HDMI. You sound like a whole one of them. She gave you permission. I mean, we have to straighten that up. So again, viewing poly as cheating is not practicing al-wala wal-bara and accepting hall passes from someone who is not your Lord. There's no rukhsa, there's no exclusion or temporary exclusion. There's azima, the original rule, then there's rukhsa, which is the temporary exclusion. Okay? Dhuhr is 4 raka'ah. Dhuhr is 4 raka'ah. But Yomul Jum'ah, the 2 raka'ah of Yomul Jum'ah, they rakatain, if I'm saying it correctly, those are replacing the 4. So those 2 equal the 4. That is the rukhsa because it's Yomul Jum'ah. Now, if you sit at home, and don't go to don't answer the call for fast or ila dhikrillah, rush to the remembrance of Allah. If you don't practice that, then you can't do 2 rak'ah at home. The exclusion, the rukhsa, is that you're at the masjid at the Yomul Jum'ah, you came on time for salat, and you make the 2. Some say if you don't come on time for the khutbah, you should make 4. But I'm not of that opinion, okay? Nevertheless, Brother Jawad says, hall passes sound like a rainbow term. Yeah. But it's generally women, wives telling the husbands, you get a day or a week to cheat. It's your birthday. It's whatever, you know what I'm saying? And wives, husbands are giving wives, like, wow. Like, both are totally haram. But if you just go to the fitrah, the nature of a human being themselves, in ghira, the natural jealousy that a husband has over his women folk, not just his wife, but his women folk, okay? Because Allah says men are responsible for women. We're managers and organizers of women's affairs. He doesn't just say wives, he said women, okay? So if you're not jealous about your women folk, your nieces, your sisters, your aunts, your mother, your, whatever. If you're not jealous about that, something wrong with you. Okay. So nevertheless, faithfulness to her only goes as far as her sovereignty and authority. Listen to that. Faithfulness to your wife only goes as far as her sovereignty and her authority. What authority does she have over her husband? She has rights over her husband. I'm talking about what authority means to order him, do and don't. Okay? She has no power over that. All she can do is remind him of Allah Ta'ala. Again, obligations going back to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. That's all she can do is order him to what Allah Ta'ala loves. Okay. Again, faithfulness to her, to your wife, only goes as far as her sovereignty and authority. And she is not sovereign at all. She is not sovereign at all. Ayub says, as you mentioned previously, I bear witness that you are the only wife and this is the last in-law. Yeah, that's that new shahada. That's that new shahada right there. That's simp shahada. Call it simp shahada. Simp shahada. Or simp shahada for short. To be faithful to your wife would be shirkish at best. Because, see, you misappropriate things. Allah Ta'ala is God. Allah Ta'ala is God. Just like he mentioned, the new Shahada, you are the only wife and your mom is the last in-law. Okay? That's shirkish. The Shahada is there is no God except Allah to be worshipped and obeyed, and Muhammad Sallam is the last messenger. So when you are faithful to your wife, that's shirkish at best. Because you're misappropriating things. You're misappropriating things. Okay? Crown says, could we argue that women in America have authority and sovereignty over her husband by the order of the state? By the order of the state. I'm telling you, I'm one of them. I'm one of them. I lost my two oldest kids to the state. They gave the woman all the authority. I go to try to pick them up. She won't give them to me on my day. I mean, it was wild. And there's nothing I can do besides pay a lawyer, pay a lawyer, pay a lawyer, take her to court. And I couldn't take her to court every time she violated the court order. I had to let her do it 3, 4, 5 times, then I take her to court. 3, 4, 5 times, then I take her to court. Man, these folks trying to drain me financially dry. I had other kids. Yeah, I had other kids. Other kids I was building, and I couldn't dump everything into the two that the state took from me. So her authority came through the state. That's why we need the state. We need the Islamic State so we can gain back our authority and stop ruining kids and ruining societies. Matriarchy ruins societies. Children do not respect female teachers. They do not respect female authority. They don't. At a certain age when they're little, yes, they do. I'm telling you, this little boy right here, he'll listen to me more than he listens to his mom. He's just 3 years old. Just turned 3 in July. He'll listen to me more than he listens to his mom because in his nature, when he hears my voice is not the most masculine, but when he hears my voice versus hearing her voice is not the most feminine. You know what I'm saying? But when he hears my voice versus her voice, things get done. If I tell my 18-year-old son, the one that looks like two of me, looks like a little Hulk, if I tell him, hey man, cut the grass. If he says, well, Dad, I have to, look, cut the grass, then do whatever you got to do. That grass is going to get cut. And I say, by the way, son, front and back. You're not cutting the front today and the back tomorrow. It takes you less than an hour. Get it done. And do it right. Or I'll make you do it over and over until you get it right. See, his mom can't tell him that. She's told me. I told that boy to cut the grass. He'll tell me he going to do it and don't end up not getting it done. Or he'll cut half the front, and none of the back. Look at this trash. Didn't even take the trash out before they went to school. That type of stuff. That's what I see. That's what I hear. I say, you don't see that as a problem? How irresponsible they are at a certain age, how they don't follow through. And I gave them the whole talk about it takes 15 seconds to be excellent. It takes 30 seconds to be excellent. I say, imagine you being recruited by a certain college, okay? Both of my sons are sports, elite sports players. Alhamdulillah, bidnillah. So let's say a college is coming to they want to come to your house and visit. Then they said, hey, let's go up to your room and see how your room is upkept. Coach, give me 30 seconds. Coach said, I'm counting. 30, 29, 28, 27. You could go in, stuff all your clothes in the drawers, close the drawer, pick up the clothes that are on the floor, throw them inside the closet, take your shoes, straighten them up real quick. And that 30 seconds, throw the sheet over your bed, put the pillows, throw the sheet, throw the blanket or the comforter over your bed. When the coach walks in, it's not in the best shape. It's not in quote unquote military shape, but it's not as raggedy as it looked. 30 seconds. If you took 30 seconds to excellence. 30 seconds to excellence. I give them the talk all the time. I say, man, don't just walk away from it. Take 30 seconds. And don't do things last minute, because if you're on time, you're late. 15 minutes early. Your goal should be to get everywhere 15 minutes early. And that 15 minutes, open up Quran, read it. Listen to part of a lecture. Do anything within that 15 minutes, but be at work. Be at work before it's time. My son in the other room right now, my oldest, okay, Sadiq Jr., He said that he was catching a bus at a certain time, had to be at work at 7. He was catching a bus at a certain time, and the bus got him there 15 minutes early. So he's there 30 minutes to 15 to 30 minutes early every day. And every time the boss got there, you're like, wow, man, you must really love this work. You must really love this job. No, that's what time his bus got him there. You know? And that's the thing about it. When you show up early, it's what happens. Okay? And nevertheless, so getting back into it, being faithful to your wife is shirkish at best. Okay? It's shirkish at best. Now, the ulama advise women on who to marry. Listen to this. The ulama advise women on what type of man to marry, what qualities to look for. They said, marry a man that has taqwa. Marry a man that has the fear of Allah Ta'ala. He's conscious of Allah Ta'ala, okay? Because that type of man doesn't have side chicks, okay? That type of man doesn't have side pieces. That type of man doesn't frequent strip clubs and bars and dance clubs or whatever, you know what I'm saying, which are foster homes for adultery and fornication, okay? So that type of man doesn't do that. So they said, the ulama told women, marry men with taqwa, with fear of Allah Ta'ala, Allah consciousness. They say, because if he loves you, he'll treat you very well. But even if he hates you, he won't oppress you. Because why? His priorities are the pleasure of Allah Ta'ala. He understands who his obligations are to. He understands who he's loyal to and who he should disassociate from. Those that Allah Ta'ala say he should disassociate from. He practiced at-tawakkul. Okay? He practiced complete and utter dependence on Allah Ta'ala alone. And trust in Allah Ta'ala alone. So they say marry a man with taqwa. Because if he loves you, he'll treat you very well. And if he, hates you even, he won't oppress you. He won't oppress you. Okay? So, show me the ulama. Show me the ulama. Show me the alim even, singular. Show me the alim that says, marry a woman, marry a man that's faithful to you. Marry a man that will be faithful to you. See, what happened? Want to get down? Want to get down? Okay. They said marry a man whose priority for faithfulness is to Allah Ta'ala. Okay, that's what taqwa breeds. Okay, they didn't say marry a man that's faithful to you. If they ever said marry a man that will be faithful to you, the women then said, how would I know that? Oh, marry someone that has taqwa. It goes right back to taqwa, fear of Allah Ta'ala. It goes right back to it. Okay, so Edmund says, give him a glass of water for that. We tried all that. Alhamdulillah, shukran. We tried all that. I'm gonna give him some cayenne pepper. He gonna have an excuse to be coughing. Maybe some cayenne pepper and lemon with some honey. Cayenne pepper, yeah. I'm gonna try that after this, inshallah. Like I said, this been going on. Don't think he just started that now and I should panic. He been doing it at his mom's, in Georgia for like all the time. And she's taking him to the doctor, so, nevertheless, so marry the man that has taqwa, he won't oppress you, even if he hates you. And if he loves you, he'll treat you very well. Okay, the ulama don't say marry a man that's faithful to you. Okay? Because there's no measure for that unless he fears Allah. Okay? So it goes right back to taqwa. Okay? A wife can only know so much. If you are worried about, if a wife is only worried about her husband cheating her, then you can only know so much. You can only hear so well. There are certain tones you can't hear, high and low tones that human beings can't hear. Okay? So you can only hear so well. You can only see so far. If your husband is cheating a couple of miles down the road, you're going to be like, who's that cheating? You don't even know it's your husband. That's what I'm saying. So taqwa is the quality, okay, that ulama say you should marry someone with that. men and women. But for women, they advise the women marry somebody with taqwa because men are the authority. We're the providers, we're the protectors. So therefore, if you don't want to be oppressed and you want to be treated well, marry somebody that fears Allah Ta'ala. Okay? That's what the ulama says. Okay? And I'm winding down. It's the last category, the last part I'm going to mention. To make a wife your focus of your faithfulness is a misappropriation of your tawakkul, your utter trust and complete, reliance on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's a misappropriation. It's a misappropriation of al-wala wa bara, to love and hate for Allah's sake, to be loyal and to disassociate for Allah Ta'ala's sake. Okay? It's a misappropriation. Your priorities out of whack. There's only one God. Yeah, those are some nice boobies, but there's only one God. Okay? There's only one God. Okay? And it's a misappropriation of the concept of taqwa. Because Allah sees you when no one else can. Allah hears you when no one else can. Allah knows what no one else knows, even the ghaib, the unseen, the things beyond the mind's ability to comprehend, the human mind's ability to comprehend. Okay? So that's why you should not be faithful to your wife. Be faithful to your Lord. Be faithful to your Lord. Do not be faithful to your wife. Do not make your wife the point and purpose of your life. There is no happy wife, happy life. Sa'ada. Sa'ada means your Lord is pleased with you, not your wife is pleased with you. You can make your wife happy and disobey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I know for a fact, I've seen women that were mutahajjibat, even munaqaba. They had the niqab on, they had hijab on, so on and so forth. They got married to a brother. He had a big beard. He had Arab clothes on and everything. Next thing you know, they're taking pictures hugged up. She ain't even covered. He's taking pictures with her uncovered. I've seen it myself. So forget the cosplay. Forget the beard and the thobe and the kufi, whatever. Forget the Arab, whatever. Nighal, shimaq, or whatever they call that thing. Forget that. Okay? Forget the cosplay. Does he fear Allah Ta'ala? Is he knowledgeable of his deen? Does he fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Okay? So let's put things in their proper, place and categorize them correctly, because if you don't marry a man that fears Allah Ta'ala and a man that fears you, he fears the state. He's putting his trust and faithfulness in you. Man, look, yeah, that's a bona fide simp. Bona fide simp. And simps are the most dangerous creatures on the face of the earth today. For women, simps are the most dangerous because they like to finesse women. Look at Derek Jackson. They like to finesse women. And based on his book sales and his views and his submissions and his likes on his videos, they ain't learned their lesson yet. They deserve everything they get. They deserve everything they get. What's wrong? Huh? What's wrong? I'm almost done. Yeah. Alhamdulillah. Shukran. Afwan. Okay, Crown says that's when women use technology to spy on their husbands. Yeah, they still can only know so much, because a man that covers himself, a comedian, Corey Holcomb, the 5150 show, he says that he be in the shower, his phone ring, he lean out the shower and say, "Baby, can you get that for me?" He said the reason he do that because his second phone is in a potato chip bag in the backyard. Yeah, he said second phone is in a potato chip bag in the backyard. So he let her answer that phone. That phone ain't about nothing. Okay? That phone ain't about nothing. So again, like I said, they can use all the technology they want. You don't have to use technology to have a side piece or whatever how you live your life. Yeah, he says, so the media lied to me. What the media tell you, Yahi? Reminds me of the current situation with that brother whose wife called the cops on him. She was a Muslim speaker. Yeah, I heard something about that, and the brother sent me a video about it. I never watched even 1 second of it. It just, these are, bruh, there's no famous Muslim couple personalities or famous Muslim shuyukh that are actually teaching the haqq. I say it right now, none of them. Name one that's famous that teaches the haqq. I don't talk about the one that teaches good salat. Good fasting, good praying and fasting is not why we're in trouble around the Muslim world. You know, that's not why. It's the ruling. It's what governs us. It's what we're willing to live and die for. That's out of whack. We no longer fear Allah Ta'ala. We no longer fear well, again, Allah Ta'ala, we fear death. We fear death. We fear loss of wealth, loss of life, loss of home. That's why we, you got to be willing to sacrifice everything, man. I lost the whole masjid because I, told the authorities no. I told the secret authorities no. I told them no. Y'all not getting on the minbar giving no announcement to my community. We ain't trying to hear it. And they closed down the whole masjid. But anyway, nevertheless, and Jawad says they hated Kevin Samuels. Huh? What happened? Your feet? Your feet hurt? Let me see. What's wrong? What's wrong? This one? This one? It itches? Or what? It hurts or it itches? Itches? Okay. You want to scratch it? You can scratch it. Right here? Right here? Hurt right here? Okay. Yeah. So let me get into the delusional dating profile of the week, inshallah ta'ala. We're going to close out this subject. Let me, is this it? Yeah, this is it. Okay. Our delusional dating profile of the week features Stacy, 50 years old. Okay. So I got something to say about Stacy. Okay. I made a note at the bottom. I'm gonna try to remember the note. I think I remember the note. Okay. Ayub says, lied to Jawad regarding the faithfulness to your wife and not to Allah. Alhamdulillah. Okay. Let me see. Stacy is 50. Stacy says, I'm a sweetheart. I'm a good girl looking for a respectful good guy. I don't drink or smoke. Sounds good so far, right? We're going to get to the delusion. Want to know more, message me. Want to know more, message me. Okay, it's punctuation. I love it. I don't even think love exists anymore. See, now we're going to go into it. I don't think love exists anymore. I think love is overrated. Bro, I done the love thing. I'm looking for respect now. Okay, a lot of people are catching on. They're catching on now. Okay, everybody just wants a hoe, a 304. Okay, no man. Listen to this. See, when we say women are hypergamous by nature, we're talking about the majority. When we say nature, we say by nature women desire children. Not all women desire children. So we're talking about the vast majority. The vast majority of women are hypergamous by nature. I'm talking about over 90%. Okay? Not even close. It's over 90%. Hypergamous by nature. Some have a twisted or altered nature. Okay? That's the same with everything. So, but this woman can speak in general. She can speak in general. If I say no woman wants a broke man, that means 90% or better want a man that has something financial to provide. Okay. So anyway, she says, I don't even think love exists anymore. Everybody just wants a 304. No man wants a good woman no more. I'm just ready to give up. Okay. Now I'm gonna tell you something about this woman. Now I got this much of a really didn't mean to, but when I compressed it, stretched it, my notes. I don't want to put my notes in here. I want to go over my notes. I want my notes to surprise you. Let me hit this real quick. Jawad said, okay, he's talking to Ayub. Okay, he's talking to Ayub right now. Jawad says, 50, tell her to wait until another 30 years. Prince Charming is coming from Mars. Hey, look, it seemed like that sometime. Jawad says, if you are so good, how did you get how you get to stay single by 50? Yeah. He says, how can I book a one-on-one with this? A one-on-one with her or with me? I'm not sure. She has been a 304 in the past. Well, I mentioned it in your post. Yeah, subhanAllah. So, oh man, it's just call me. I think I gave you my number, if I'm not mistaken. Just call me. I gave you my number. I can't type it in here. I don't have that feature. But yeah, just call me, inshallah. Just call me. I'm available most times of the day. Even if I'm, working, I'm available most times of the day. Uh, okay, so the first part seemed good. I'm a sweetheart. I'm a good girl looking for a respectable guy. Somebody she respects, okay? Not respectable, but somebody she respects, okay? So you got to be in her frame, I guess. I don't drink or smoke, good quality. Want to know more, message me. I don't even think love exists anymore, okay? So she's looking for love. She wants a respectable guy, but she's looking for love. A respectable guy won't necessarily love you. He's just respectable, okay? Just because he's respectable don't mean he'll love you. Okay, but you don't think love exists anymore. Okay. And when I hit my notes, y'all gonna understand a little better. I wanted to say pictures, but I don't want to make it like I'm making fun of. Now I'm down with roasting. I don't want to look like I'm just making fun of her as an individual, but I want to make fun of the delusion, because there's a collective delusion going on in the dating profiles. Okay, I don't even think love exists anymore. Everybody just wants a 304. No man wants a good woman no more. That's a double negative. No man wants a good woman no more. Double negative, okay? Appreciate the punctuation. Double negative. I'm just ready to give up. Let me tell you something about this woman. Without knowing her intricately or seeing her face, I'm going to tell you something about this woman. Let me clear up these, what you call them, okay. So you should have my number from YouTube. Okay. So Jawad says, she wants a guy to be in her frame, even the way she mentioned in the post. She wants men to go through the hoops. Yeah, bro. I'm gonna tell you something about these hoops. You say, Edmund says she's crazy from what she's saying. Check this out. My notes are these. This woman looks like she looks, okay? And I'm gonna tell you how she looks. Y'all ready? It looks like every morning when she wakes up, her hand appears out of dirt. You ever see those zombie movies when the zombie wakes up, the hand comes out of the dirt? I don't know how they do that with a coffin. You gotta open the coffin. There's too much dirt to open the coffin, but nevertheless, the hand comes out of the dirt. I think that's how she wake up every morning. That's how. I mean, look. Let me stop. Okay. So anyway, it's crazy, bruh. She looks okay. Certain people don't age well. Okay, some do when they're mixed. It's like with animals. I'm not comparing human beings to dogs, but quote unquote mutts or mixed breeds are the most healthiest animals. Pure breeds, like for instance German shepherds. Pure breeds tend to like pure breed German shepherds, which is my favorite dog, have hip dysplasia. Okay, they have a hip disease, and you'll see a German shepherd look nice, police-looking dog limping, because they got a bad hip or whatever, and it costs like $20,000 to replace that hip, and a lot of owners ain't trying to do that, although people treat animals better than humans. Nevertheless, so so when you're mixed with something, actually strengthens you. You might have sickle cell, and then you mix it with this nationality, and it cures it, or it just becomes a trait and not an actual sickness. And there's other things, but nevertheless, and there's anyway, I ain't gonna get into the other stuff. But anyway, so she stays heavily made up. She wears heavy makeup to hide the reality. Okay, she wears heavy makeup. Not only that, she's heavily filtered. On her pictures, she's heavily filtered. You know how I know? Because she had like 5 pictures up. Okay? Plus plus this one above, which makes 6. She had 5 pictures up. One of those 5 was unfiltered. And that's when you saw the hand come out the grave. Yeah, you saw the hand come out the grave. I'm telling you. She had one picture. You know what I'm saying? She had one picture, that was unfiltered. So she's heavily made up with makeup. She's heavily filtered. And she had one picture. She took a back shot. She's heavily built. She's heavily built. So if you don't want a woman whose age plus 20 shows on her face, her age plus 20 more years is on her face, unfiltered. She wears heavy makeup to hide the reality. Okay. She puts heavily filtered photos up on the internet. You'll never find a man to want you if you put filtered pictures. They're gonna want the filter. I've even told sisters, "Assalamu alaikum, Ukhti, can I have your filter's Wali number?" I asked for the filter Wali's number. I say, "How much is your filter asking for dowry?" When I know that dowry shouldn't be asked for. I'm joking. I say, "How much does your filter want for a dowry?" Because I know that ain't them, bruh. How many times I gotta see people in real life, and it look like it's October sometime. Okay, so she's heavily made up, she's heavily filtered, and she's heavily built. And she ain't finna change none of that, okay? She gonna keep posting filters, she gonna keep posting heavy makeup, and she ain't finna take care of her health. But men just want 304s. So women that are in shape, they have natural beauty, youth, you know what I'm saying? I guess those people are 304s, I guess. See, we gotta, I know I gotta make myself desirable. Man, I just did over 100 ab little deals. Me and my son was doing one hand push-ups, right arm, left arm, and stuff like that. I gotta keep myself in a certain shape. You know what I'm saying? My wife ain't gonna want me. Other women ain't gonna want me. I'm trying to keep myself right, man, to a certain extent. I got a lower leg injury from a car accident. Got hit by a car, was on the sidewalk. And Edmund right there was on the job when I got hit. But anyway, so nevertheless, with that being said, I got to keep myself in a certain type of health. That means I got to eat right. I can't just be piling on sugars and bread, sugars, carbs, things like. I can't do that, man. I gotta, have my proteins and vegetables and whatever. You know what I'm saying? And preferably one meal a day. You know what I'm saying? Preferably one meal a day. So again, she's not going to do the work, man. She's not going to do the work. Even with her face, if her body's banging, yeah. Oh man, we ain't finna turn, man. Look, we ain't finna turn down. Still fine. You can still find a husband. I'm saying, if you banging, if you banging, and 90% of it is discipline. 90% of having a fit body is discipline. It is not gym discipline. It's not workout discipline. 10% is workout. It's watching what you put in your face. Stop using food for comfort. Okay? And I'm actually post this on my stories so I can get out to more people. But I'm telling you, look, season your meat, beef, fish, chicken, turkey, anything halal. Season it. Avoid condiments like too much barbecue sauce, lightly glaze it with barbecue sauce if you must. Avoid condiments, mayonnaise, so on and so forth. Avoid bread. Eat like a carnivore, okay? I guarantee you cannot overeat. You cannot overeat brisket. You can overeat with barbecue. See, barbecue sauce, the condiments make you take in more. Water with lemon, room temperature, and go straight at all protein meat. Skip the vegetables. All protein meat. Go carnivore. Guaranteed. You're going to feel better. Your skin's going to look better. Everything going to look better. They lied to you. And you ain't got to cut the fat or the skin off the chicken. You ain't got to do that. But we'll talk about that some other time. Nevertheless, let me get to these comments real quick before I close out. I'm finna give my boy some cayenne pepper with some honey and some lemon. Okay. Ayub says German Shepherd mixed with Collie, super intelligent. Okay. Okay. German Shepherds, man, I was raised with them. I love those dogs. Say she's crazy, like I said. Does she have a lizard neck? No, man. It's really in the face, man. She look like she been beat down by society. You know what I'm saying? Uh, and Jawad says, built like a tuck. I think you meant truck, right? She's heavy built, man. She's if she was a Ford, she'd be like a F-350. Yeah, she'd be a F-350, man. Yeah. So anyway, nevertheless, that's all that I have. Yeah, she don't think love exists anymore. Everybody just wants a hoe, you know. No man wants a good woman. A good woman stays in shape, man. God, about to curse. A good woman stays in shape. Stop stuffing your face and trying to replace, food. Trying to replace a man with food. Stop stuffing your face. Eat healthy. I can give you a diet plan. I'll tell you what to drink in the morning and what to drink before you go to bed at night. Your energy is going to go up. You're going to feel better. And in a month's time, you'll see the results without exercise. But if you put some type of physical activity with that, oh, man, you're going to love it. You're going to love it. Last comments. Edmund says, pretty much keep it natural. Yeah, and don't eat fruits without seeds, man. That ain't natural. I don't, man. Them seedless grapes, hard to find. You gotta go to the farmer's market to get those now. Seedless grapes, bro. How you get a seedless grape? How you gonna make another grape? Come on, man. Anyway, I wouldn't eat seedless watermelon, none of that crap. Gotta have seeds for me. The AI girlfriends are a real threat to them. Yeah, the AI girlfriends, at least they fit. They something to look at. Put them in a corner, take the batteries out. If only she knew this when she was 20. Yeah, she's a day late and a century too short. Anyway, that's all that I have. Tune in next week. I got some stuff, man. I got some stuff. Inshallah ta'ala. I want to do my little prison shorts for YouTube. I'm finna put those out. I'm finna get those rocking, man. I got a financial plan, man, that I'm trying to do right now. Cause I need, I'm trying to get that Cybertruck when it come out. And also I want to set my kids up for generational wealth, inshallah ta'ala, for the future. I want to set them up. I hope my 18-year-old makes it to the NFL. But he has a real good career planned anyway if he doesn't make the NFL. But inshallah, I want to set myself up so I can help him pay for his first clinic, so you don't have to worry about even think about a bank loan and stuff like that. I'd rather him go through a lease than go through a loan. Lease the building, and I want to be able to help him, inshallah, buy a building outright. And I got a financial plan, and I may have to give up. I bought this house as a fixer-upper 20, almost 25 years ago. I bought this house, and I might have to sell it in order to invest and build my wealth so I could, child support, you ain't finna get my house money. Sorry. Child support. Anyway, nevertheless, like I said, it's a plan that I have because I want to set them up for the future. I don't care about new shoes. I don't care about new shirts. I don't care about none of that. I want to set my kids up for the future. That's my job as a father, as long as their moms stay out of the way. This has been your brother Saad Imam for X Factly. Inshallah, tune in next week, and I'll try to get them shorts working for y'all. I might snitch on Edmund because Edmund was there when that boy got something done to him. Edmund was there. Yeah, I might snitch on Edmund, but for as myself, I ain't finna get myself up. Because statute of limitations, boy, they don't run out on certain things. All right, yalla. This is before Islam anyway, alhamdulillah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.